The Shabbat before Purim is known as Shabbat Zachor. Zachor means memory or remembering, and this Shabbat is known as Shabbat Zachor because there is a section of the Torah that we read. It's from Deuteronomy 25, and it says, Zachor et asher asa lecha Amalek. Remember what Amalek did to you. So we're not supposed to remember Amalek, by the way, and it gets into all of this, but we're supposed to remember what Amalek did. So this is a people who, when the Israelites come out of Egypt, they attack the Israelites from behind. And there are four things that our Torah portion says about this, four things that it seems that we should remember. One is that Amalek is not afraid of God, because if Amalek was afraid of God, he wouldn't attack the Israelites who'd just been freed from Egypt by the hand of God. Two, that Amalek ambushes the Israelites. The third is that ambush takes place when we're tired and hungry. We're not actually a threat to Amalek. We are not in any way provoking this attack. We are trying to take care of ourselves. And then the fourth and last thing is that Amalek attacks from behind, and the most vulnerable people are the ones who are behind. Okay, so this gives us a lot of food for thought, and Shabbat Zachor is a really significant one because this memory of Amalek persists. Hold that thought. We're going to come back to it. So why do we read it, the Shabbat before Purim? Well, we do because we are told in the book of Esther that Haman, or Haman, is a descendant of Agag, and Agag is the head of the Amalekites, or Amalek. And so it is that Haman, and our text will do this, is not just intellectually or xenophobically or anti-Semitically related to Agag through his ideology. He is actually physically related to Agag, whether we believe this or not. Okay, but that's why we read this section. And I found it, I suppose, darkly humorous that last week there was supposed to be a day of hate, that we were supposed to be campaigned against by enemies of the Jews. And thank God things passed easily. But that some of the rabbis that I know online were like, they're a week early. It's supposed to be Shabbat Zachor, that they should be doing a week of hate, because welcome to the rabbis, that we're not surprised that people hate us. We just want their timing to be correct on the calendar. But it brings me actually to our next holiday, to Passover. There's a section, and if you come to a Seder that I am leading, whether it's Miriam Seder or whether it is the community Seder on second night, you will hear me sing V'hi she'amda, V'hi she'amda lavoteinu velanu. And it's this very haunting melody. And in the service, and in the Seder that I grew up with, that was a section where we acknowledged the Holocaust, because what that text that I'm singing says is that the Torah and God have stood with us and stood by our ancestors, for not only in one generation has an enemy risen up to destroy us, but in every generation. And it's a haunting text, because I think that we always hope that the last generation will be the last time, that our children will be safe, and that whatever hardship we have to contend with, that whatever comes next should be better, should be easier, that one day we will finally be done with this. But the story of Purim is the story of being Jews in the diaspora, of anti-Semitism for personal reasons that end up being aggrandized into governmental decrees, which thank God we are not dealing with in this generation. But there's a familiarity to this story, and it is true for Purim, that Haman tries to kill us. It's true for Hanukkah, that the Romans try to kill us. It's true for a lot of holidays, except, right, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, thank goodness, nobody tried to kill us. Sukkot, harvest holiday. Shavuot, we get the Ten Commandments. So the pilgrimage holidays, we are more or less okay, but certainly Pesach, Purim, Hanukkah, these are stories of our survival, but the reason that we tell the story of our survival is because our survival is constantly threatened. Okay, so what do we do with this? Last weekend, the response was we got added security, and that we continue to do our thing. We continue to be proud of our Judaism. We continue to teach our children. We continue to celebrate Shabbat. We continue to live our Jewish lives. Because if we give up, then we become part of that eradicating force. So instead of wallowing in oy vavoy, they're trying to kill us again, we can celebrate our survival, but not just our survival, but our thriving. Because if all we do is survive, then there's no point, right? If it's, we made it, now let's, I don't know what we're gonna do. Let's live an existential life devoid of joy and meaning. That's not really what it means to be a full person, a full Jew in the world. Instead, what we do is we take all that Judaism has to offer and all that we have to offer Judaism, and we find a way to give our lives meaning, to suffuse our lives with spirit, with joy, with purpose, with improving ourselves in the world. And that is the answer to these forces that rise up against us. And so I hope that you will join us, whether it's Sunday at the Purim Carnival or Monday at the Purim Spiel, and blotting out Haman's name, as we are told that we're supposed to blot out the name of Amalek, and that, God willing, as we move forward, we will blot out all of these inheritors of the story of Amalek, of the ideology of Amalek, and instead fully embrace the joy and the purpose of what it is to be Jewish.